Good morning to everybody and welcome to this first session dedicated to the introduction and the study of the architecture of CRISP VMS. In this first lesson we will get through the general overview and the concept behind the VMS, while on a second session we will be much more focused on the menus on the and on the planning and the implementation and the use of the menus. Okay, I like to remember that the CRISP VMS is sold on based on three levels: smart level as 32 camera channels, professional can manage up 64 with some implementation as some special features like private masking. And corporate can manage very big installations with any kind of features like video wall system, failover, and use the analytics. Both professional and corporate can also manage static maps, so site plans where you can drag and drop, you can manage together any kind of sensors such as cameras, access control system, um, and so on. So for any kind of information for these commercial issues, let's say, you are asked to send an email to info@crisptechnology.com for having any information for the commercial side. Very well, thank you very much. So for attending this training, let's go immediately in the focus of the VMS, starting from the taking a look to the graphic user interface, the GUI of the program. So starting from the very above part, bottom part, we can see the date and the time and the hour where we are performing our session, and immediately below you can see the frame per seconds active now on the VMS activity together with the kilobits. Obviously, whenever we are opening a view with many other cameras, we will see that our frame per seconds are increasing accordingly to the number of the cameras and also the kilobits. So it's very nice to have immediately under the eye view what is the consumption of our system. Okay, so immediately below these data, this date and time, we have our navigation tree with all the elements that are interested for our session. So we start obviously for the main important sensor, that is cameras. You can see any kind of camera here. Just let me inform you that this normally in Italy we have a precise rules on the privacy, but this session was authorized for doing all the registrations. Well, so moving forward on our navigation tree, we have cameras, we have videos that will be useful for the exercise that we will do for the PSIM on another part of the training, on another training. Still on the navigation tree, we have the views, so how we display and we combine basically our cameras together with our sensors or the layout, like in this case the GIS map. So once again, we like to remember that, for example, this view we have done for a customer in Slovenia. Um, you can combine an extract of a graphical map. You can take a capture of a Google map, and you can drag and drop your layers, and you can combine it with the cameras that are needed for the installation. Okay, so let's move forward and let's talk about other session, other part related to the navigation tree. Obviously, we have tools, and we will see how to configure. Here, back on the right side, we have the seconds where the preset of the tool is active. Okay, so another one. While we have also representation of the map, for example, IO view. These are the IO contacts we have active, or the IO ports we have active on the system right now. System state that we will see in delay, that we can drag and drop on our graphical user interface. We have a prompt overview what about the health of our system. Side planes is exactly what we spoke before, is the graphical or the logical representation um, of some images that are needed um, for our session of VMS. This one is a first floor of a university. We have, for example, a side plane dedicated to the Ataturk Turkish airport, main office, and so on and so on. Okay, so moving forward, below the navigation tree related to all the sensor, we have the active alerts. Um, all the alerts that are active right now, much more specific for the SIM system. While we have here back below the active alerts, we have the the part related to the recent alerts. It's amazing how you can passing over with the mouse on the alert. You have like representation of the image of the event itself. So we have here all the alerts, recent alerts. Obviously, we have the button for the menu. The button of the menu give a open the view, open the choice of the sub menu or the different tag that we will use for programming the VMS or for configuring the cameras and so on and so on. So this is, let's say, the part related to the normal activity, to the activity um, of the GUI of the VMS itself. And let's go and see the amazing feature, the outstanding features of the let's say the use and how we manage the flood video, the flood video for the real time and the flood video for the archive. In a glimpse, you can have here like a graphical representation of what is how we manage the archive and the real time. Immediately, you can recognize that there is only one time bar, and this is like a unique, let's say, idea. And I would like to show you how we are able to pass from the live view to the archive on the really on a finger snap or on a finger touch of the mouse. So it's really amazing how we are able to move in the past for in the on the speed, but it makes probably much more sense to take a look to the outside cameras. So now we are in a live situation, but we can jump immediately to the live situation, to the archive situation, sorry. So we can have here, um, you can see here that we are able um, to jump, uh, to jump on time and to accelerate, the reproduction of our food video, to increase. Let's try to catch some other images, and how we can play with the archive themselves. This is made thanks to the capacity we have to manage the metadata. So really, let's move to some other. You can see how robust and how flexible uh, is the VMS. I mean, you can really shift from one moment to the other, decide whichever is the speed of the reproduction of your archive, and then back to life. Okay, here we go again. It's also very immediate and very easy to jump from one event to the other. For example, let's go back and let's analyze the time bar. How we can, just scrolling with the mouse, we are able to distinguish our archive minute by minute, 5 minutes by 5 minutes, 30 minutes by 30 minutes, hour per hour, and we can also distinguish day by day. So it's very intuitive, but on the same time it's very robust. For example, we decide here to move to 10 July, or maybe 10 July at 1 p.m. Let's go there. So this is 5:20, for example. And let's try to move on the event. Let's try to go back to the previous event. Okay, here we have like kind of obscuring the vision of the camera. This is why it's generating an alarm. But let's try to go, for example, and moving on the calendar itself. So 10 of July, let's try to catch, for example, one of our um, employee here coming. Okay, so let's go here. So it was 10. Just moving on the event. Okay, we see our one of our guys here coming. Another people here working. The next event. Okay, so moving inside here. And again, you can continuously moving, on the time here. Let's back again. Let's say let's go to 10 again. Here we go. Okay, and again, playing with the speed and the direction of the the archive. Well, we can also move frame by frame. For example, back and forward. Here we go. We can also skip the 10 seconds. This is very important when you have some forensic investigation. You need to understand what happened the 10 seconds before the event is generated. You can imagine what's happening when there is an intrusion and the camera maybe they're not able to see on the main entrance, for example, the intrusion because it was peculiarly violent. And so this is why you need also to have the 20 seconds before, just to have a complete view, or maybe and together the 20 seconds after to have a complete view of the event itself. So we have seen here, let's say, um, event by event, back and forward. We have seen the capacity of moving let's say, on a very robust, intuitive way, but very immediate on the time bar. And let's go back to life. Really nice. Let's try to get a look here, for example, to and let's go to get back to the camera. Okay, it's time to start to export maybe and to analyze some other feature of the event, of the timer, sorry. Let's get back to our, let's say, 9 or 8, um, yeah, 55, for example, 8:55 of Monday, 10 of July. So let's go. Let's try to generate. Okay. Let's try to export this event. Mattia is entering. So we have seen all the menu related to the calendar, to the timeline. We have seen the time bar where we can scroll up and down with a mouse, just positioning ourselves over the alert. We have a preview of the image of the alert itself. So we have seen the speed. So we have seen the play backward and the play forward. Let's try to analyze the export video. So we want to export this video, for example. Okay, we have two options. One, we can export in crisp, means that we can export a piece of the program. Um, so you will have really all the graphical user interface, or you can export in VLC in AVI. So we have these two options. Okay, now we have here the start date and the end date. We decide to export really very few seconds because the capacity of my laptop. So let's try to export maybe 10 seconds or 9 seconds, for example. Okay, so let's add it to the export list. So we have now the system give us back the quantity of the megabytes to export. Okay, the system is asking us where is the path where to export the footage. So we can decide between the hard disk of the hard disk or other destination of the disk, or a CD or a DVD. We can also encrypt this export, for example. Again, we have a kind of resume of what we are exporting. So again, we have 259 megabytes. We have also the option to delete. So we have here finally again the total overview of the export. So what is going to be exported, how many it will be the footage, 8 seconds, and the quantity itself. So let's start the export. Okay, we have another one for the previous exercise. Okay, yes. So we are now exporting Okay. Let's go immediately to see how is the result of the export. And as you will see, right now is opening a kind of session of the program itself. So clicking on entrance inside, we see the 8 seconds where our guy here was was working on the office. Very interesting is that also here in this case you can use the time bar. So also in this case, and you can play with back forward or the forward again, once again. It's any way possible to pass again from crisp format to AVI format whenever you would like to do that. Okay, so let's close it here. Let's pass to the second option, the option of creating bookmark. Maybe let's try to get maybe to get an external camera. Let's try to to go to in the very morning, so we can see here. Okay, so we have a truck here. We have a SUV. So just to start the bookmark, we call it pickup black. The system is asking if we want protect video data. Give us the option also how many minutes we want to protect um, this footage from the on the server. So let's say we protect on 0 minute and let's say okay 1 minute before and 0 after. Is expiring on 12 was expiring on 12th of January, but we need to, let's say, put it much before on the next cleaning. Okay, so let's say that the 7:25 now we have a log. Sorry, we have a bookmark, and just clicking on add, we have added this bookmark. So let's try to move back and using the same. Okay, let's go to live. And let's go to archive again. Oh, what's happening here? Okay, here we go. We can see that we have just clicking on the jump to next alert, we can see that we have found our pickup. Very interesting that it's very easy to zoom on to zoom also on the archive video. So we have a digital zoom and digital PTZ also on archive, not only on view, on live view. So let's try to move also to take a look here and to move the PTZ to move the PTZ system. Very good, very good. So really outstanding these features. Uh, Very interactive, very user-friendly, but very robust. The capacity of managing the metadata, thanks to the metadata, the archives, and the real view. Okay, just few words about the configuration of the camera. There is a short menu by which you can configure the cameras on the GUI, on the main GUI. For example, you can show or omit the camera name. You can show or not a PTZ system. Now we have a fixed camera. We can show the active alerts or not. We can shift the position of the camera. Sorry, the name of the camera. Just clicking here. Okay, so bottom right, for example, is appearing here. And once again, let's bring it back on the top left. So also on the icons, you can decide to making appear the live signal or the archive. Well, I forgot to tell you that when we are in archive mode, an orange frame is appearing. So also logically, we have displayed that we are under archive. Very good. How to export, create a snapshot. Very interesting the fact that you can work the picture from the export moment. So you can export also a picture that you have properly modified accordingly to your needs. I mean, you need to have like a much more clear picture. You can print it directly. You can define obviously the destination where the image will be stored and the name of the file itself. Okay, last issue is the fastback. Fastback is exactly this capacity we have mentioned it before, and it is while you are performing archive of live video, you can decide to, and this is basically made for the police because they need to decide instead of going immediately to the archive, they just need to watch behind 10 seconds what happened, like a person that they are monitoring, they are tracking, or maybe like a car that they are monitoring. These operators, they decide to have the 10 seconds before or what's happened. Let's say, let's try to see outside if we have a, okay, now we have a motorbike here. You can see, very interesting, let's say. So let's try to go and see here if there is a car passing. Okay, so let's try to take a look 5 seconds before. Once again, here we go. So very useful for the let's say for the forensic system, for the forensic use, and for the police, basically. So this is it. Really, thanks a lot for this attention. We are going to go very soon with another webinar, with another training dedicated to the, as I told you, to the use of the menu, the implementation and the programmation of the menu. For any technical doubt, still I invite you to send us an email to info@crisptechnology.com, and thank you very much for your kind attention.